Alright, good day everybody. It is the end of October 4th, and some might say not much has happened in the crypto market, and others might say a whole lot has happened. So let's take a look at what did happen today and what that really means for the overall market, in my opinion, and just how significant these events are. So stick around, and right after the intro, we'll dive into the charts. Okay, guys, so today SHIBA INU jumped over 70%. Didn't hit, I don't think it hit 80, but high 70% range. And just looking at, just typing in SHIBA INU on Google real quick, we see SHIBA INU rose 30%. And everybody, not everybody, but most of the top articles are contributing it to some tweet from Elon Musk, and I just don't find stuff like that relevant, honestly. Sometimes news does have impacts on the market, of course, but I don't think a tweet from Elon Musk influenced the kind of money that went into Shiba Inu to push it the way it did today. Where's my chart? So right here. So when Shiba Inu went live on Coinbase, um, that's when we had this jump right here. Okay, that's when we had that move right there. That was 40% from there to there. And on this daily candle, um, we had oh wow. So we actually had about a 85% move on SHIB today on this daily candle. And there's no way that a tweet from Elon Musk was more significant than this coin going live on Coinbase. I highly doubt that. Now, so just to give you my thought process on today, the first thing I was looking at, I noticed that Bitcoin had started, it's even hard to call it a correction or a minor retracement. Um, but Bitcoin, everybody's been watching Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we see that we started to get, since the recent push up, the most we got was these few, like, it didn't even close, but the most we got was a bit more bodies, down towards this lower end. These two bullish, not really engulfing, considering that there was a there was a bullish engulfing candle, and then these two stacked, big bearish candles. So it did lead to some kind of downside influence, but we never broke and closed this level. Um, Ethereum dipped down a bit and kind of stuck its neck out down in these levels, and so I think it kind of gave the overall market the consensus to kind of just take a little pullback. So Litecoin is still sitting strong, but if we look at some of the bigger ones, like Polkadot, we see a breakdown, and it's the same for well, Dodge didn't do it, but a lot of them started to do some kind of a small correction, and the entire crypto market was pretty much red today. Starting out, there were one or two that were like half a cent, half a percent, 1%, on the green side, but pretty much the entire crypto market was just red today. And then in early in the morning, I'm looking at the charts. I see, Shiba was up like 15, maybe it was already up 20% at the time, when I first checked the charts. Dogecoin was up 5%. Luna was up 10-13%. And then I saw Akita started to poke its neck out, and that was up around 10% as well, I think, when I first saw it. So In a market full of red, including Bitcoin, including Ethereum, we had SHIBA, Akita, Doge, and Luna. Oh, as well as Smooth Love Potion. All green and significantly green too. Smooth Love Potion was up quite a bit today. It was up around, I think at the high, it was around 30% up on the day. Let's check the candle just to see how much it moved. So if I check the entire daily candle, oh, more than 30. So 41% total move on Smooth Love Potion today. So those guys were up. And what I don't know a whole lot about Luna. And I'll admit I don't know a ton about Smooth Love Potion other than the technical analysis. But based on the name alone, I don't think it's a major it's a project out there to change the crypto space in terms of technology. So with that being said, you have the market being led by meme coins today, and why I find that so interesting is that a move like SHIBA and Akita that's just been dead, it took some significant money to make this happen. If we look at the candle, like this isn't from just a tweet, guys. Like this isn't just from a tweet. You have a candle. This is Binance chart, by the way. There is more Shiba Inu history prior to this, but this is Binance chart. This is when it really first came on the scene, blasted up, and then came back down in the consolidation with the rest of the coins. And today it had more volume than any other day in its history on Binance. That says a lot. If we look at Akita, Akita didn't really have anything significant. Considering the past few weeks, yes, yes it did, but not in comparison to SHIBA, of course. If we take a quick look at where are you, love? There we go. Okay, so similar. Smooth Love Potion had more volume than its entire history today. For whatever reason, it did. And with that being said, Smooth Love Potion, like I said, I really don't know where this coin stands. So I'm really just kind of using SHIBA as my, to kind of draw my point. But with that being said, it's interesting that in a sea of red, even though Bitcoin didn't pull back a lot, even though Ethereum didn't pull back a lot, they haven't been running. Everyone's kind of been on the fence because Bitcoin has shot up, right? But the volume hasn't been ridiculous. Like there's no big catalyst spikes on Bitcoin. It broke out of the trend. It shot up. This is what we've seen. For the past few days, we've seen consolidation. We got close to the 50, and yes, we did break off from the 50, but there wasn't a ton of volume to suggest that, a bunch of people are pouring into the market, and we're seeing spikes and the market's breaking out and it's gonna go crazy. The kind of things you would expect that would lead to meme coins then breaking out. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're generally the leaders, and when they go up, everybody else kind of follows. But during a time of indecision, so to speak, and of course, we have our manipulation candles that came in that shot price up right here, and you could see the volume. Like that's some big money coming in right here that led to this. That wasn't just like everybody deciding to buy Bitcoin. But what I'm trying to say is you had a lot of influence that came in financially to create this candle, but then the volume kind of even dropped a little bit below the average of the recent weeks. But the volume didn't continue. So It's not like a bunch of people jumped on this. It wasn't like, oh, a bunch of FOMO that came in and kind of carried this higher. Everyone has still been kind of looking and like, okay, what's it going to do? Is it going to pull back to the trend line? Like, is this the start of the move up? Like, what's going on? So I think most people have been kind of sitting on their hands for the most part. And yet you have SHIBA breaking out the way it did, doing what it did. And what that says to me is that if a coin like SHIBA could break out in that way, I know it's not retail money that did that. And like I've been saying, watch out for SHIBA. There's a lot of interest in SHIBA. There's a lot of big money interest in SHIBA. We're seeing it pop up on the stock exchanges like the Weebles. We're seeing it pop up on the more retail friendly crypto apps like the Coinbase and the eToros and stuff like that. I keep saying watch out for SHIBA. And I noticed that as price of the major cryptos like Bitcoin was manipulated to the downside, so was SHIBA in a considerable way. And so there's big money interest in SHIBA, and the fact that big money, whoever this big money is, was whether it's Wall Street or hedge funds or whoever, was willing to pump that much money into SHIBA today. And did retail investors jump in? Yes, I'm sure they did, but they're not the ones who are responsible for the bulk of what happened. I don't think. Maybe Reddit, Wall Street Bets did something that I don't know about, but there's a lot of money that came in, and for that to happen on a red day, it only lets you know the kind of magnitude and the kind of volume and push to the upside we're going to see with the overall market once everything starts moving. And it's going to get moving really quick. I'm looking at Bitcoin. Once it breaks this level right here of resistance, I think we're going to get some strong momentum to the upside. And definitely once it breaks the recent highs, we're going to see a lot of craziness start to happen. Moving back up towards that 60,000 level and beyond. So what I'm saying is I think SHIBA was a peak at the kind of aggressive, just crazy stuff we're going to see in the crypto market beginning this week. I think Bitcoin is now going to stretch its legs. Maybe in the next 24 hours, we're going to see a break of this level. That will trigger confidence into the market. All the other coins are going to start to follow suit. And, so all I could say is just clear, in my opinion, clear skies. We'll be going into the third wave. We're in the third wave now, actually. This is wave 3. Major wave 3, sorry. This is our major wave 3. And we are going into the third wave of this wave 3. So the third wave is known to be the most volatile, the most aggressive, the most intense of all the 3 impulse waves. Wave 1, 3, and 5 being the impulse waves. Wave 2 and 4 being the corrective waves. So this wave 3, I definitely think we're going to see a push, at least to these levels. Maybe even up to the 80,000 or more. Like, who really knows right now? That's within this wave 3, before we see a wave 4 correction and then a finalize of a wave 5. And all that is going to be a part of this overall major wave 3. So we got a lot of money to be made, a lot of excitement to take place, in the next few weeks, few months. And I think it's going to be a really good Christmas. So I don't know if this was more of a rant, but What I do want to say is buckle up. I cannot tell anybody to buy or to take their money and to do whatever with. I can't advise people on investing, but figuratively, I can say that it's time to buckle up. The rocket ships are fueled, and we are blasting off. We are in the process of blasting off. The break of what did I do? Thank you. The break of this trend line was very significant, and the fact that we have yet now, we still can see it. We did see a pullback to the 50 moving average on the daily, and the 21 moving average has yet to cross over. So we haven't even gotten our cross yet on the moving averages, but we're seeing some really good momentum. With this, I was expecting maybe a pullback down to this level before the push to the upside, but I think it's just going to break through. Maybe we'll get a pullback from here, retest off this level, and then push up. There's going to be a lot of momentum, in the crypto space right now. And the best place to have bought would have been the pullback here. You would have had the confirmation of the breakout, the pullback to buy in and catch a ride to the upside. But who knows if we're going to get that. Some people might say, oh, the best place to buy right here is true. Of course, the lowest place is the best place. But there was no confirmation that this was the bottom. Price could have easily kept going down, and then this would have become the best place. So you kind of just have to average in, use wisdom. Don't push all your chips to the center of the table immediately. Whatever you decide to do, if you are buying, I know if it was me, what I would personally do is, depending on what you see, how you see price responding, you average in. So even if you thought this was the bottom, you buy a little there, and then you see a breakout, and you say, hey, well, it may retest, it may not. So you buy a little here. If it did retest, buy a little more here. And then as price starts going up and continuing to confirm the move, you start averaging in. And maybe you have your entire investment locked in before price breaks this high right here. But that's the wisest way to do it, because at the end of the day, we don't know entirely what's going to happen. So you either YOLO or you just use smarts. And while smarts may not give you as much of a return as a YOLO, it's definitely more of a consistent return. So yeah, so with all that being said, just a lot of excitement. Like I said, I think SHIBA was just a taste. And is it too late to get into SHIBA? I do not think so. What I do think, where are you? A lot of coins to look through, guys, sorry. What I do think is that we may see a correction. It would not surprise me. May not happen. It would not surprise me if we see a correction somewhere to around these levels. We did see a correction so far to this range. If you look, we're on the daily, and we got 2 wicks, 2 touches here, 1, 2. And then we got another touch here. So we do have a level of support and resistance right there. We could also put, another level right here. So we did touch this level. Maybe that's it for the pullback, but I kind of don't think so. I think the market is in a wiser place. So I don't know if this will just continue to blast off. I do think we're going to see some sell-off to at least around this level. I would be surprised to see it come all the way, back down to this one. But I think like right around in here, we could see, a pullback, even if price like bounces up a little bit more, and then comes back down. And then from here, we'll see the push up. And the reason why is because the other cryptos are still kind of sleeping for the most part. So SHIBA is just kind of up here all by itself. It doesn't really have, I don't think, the overall support of the market, because I think the market is still in a state of figuring out what it wants to do, at least when it comes to the overall consensus. Yes, a lot of people have already made up their minds, but I think overall, it's still like, okay, is this really happening, kind of a thing. And so once Bitcoin gives the green light, depending on how long that takes, if it takes too long, I think, when I say too long, like let's say it takes the next 4 or 5 days to a week, it'll give SHIBA time to cool off and kind of sink back down. If Bitcoin comes on immediately, like we wake up tomorrow and price is broken out of those support and resistance levels, it may bring in enough FOMO to push SHIBA straight up from these levels, and who knows where it's going to go. So I think that's the case. So yeah. One last thing I want to point out is on Bitcoin, on the 4-hour, there's a little bit of divergence, just a little bit. But overall, I don't think it's enough. So for example, like I said, it's not like a crazy bit, but just take a look at the trend lines. It's the complete opposite. It's divergent. So and it's on the 4-hour, so pretty significant. But we'll just have to see what happens. Like, this doesn't dictate the market. As we could see on the MACD, the selling pressure is easing off. We could get a curl back over of a sell signal with the blue and the orange RSI, so we could get that cross happening again. And then we'll just have to see, if we start to flash to the green side, and if this breaks through. I think, what's most important is if it does push up to this level, if it breaks through this zone, or even if it kind of consolidates right by it and then pushes up. But I don't know. I mean, it's not like, oh, you don't want to see it like it's the end, but that could happen, based on the divergence that we're seeing. But maybe enough strength just to keep it moving through nice and slow. So yeah, and that's it. So for me personally, this is the time to get in. Like I said, if you are investing, it's smart to average your buy-in, because we don't exactly know, I think, until Bitcoin breaks these levels between where it's at now, 49,000, and gets up to like the 53,000 range. We still have a chance for a pullback. So unless you're in it long term, but even if you are, don't just dump all your money in. Average in your buy-in cost. So play it safe, because you could get some discounts. You never know. So have a good day. Hope this wasn't too long, and enjoy the next few months.